This symbol has appeared in every human civilization. There's a symbol that seems to haunt human history. You can find it carved into 7,000-year-old stones in the Middle East, etched onto pottery from the ancient Indus Valley, and scattered through the ruins of civilizations all over the earth. For thousands of years, it was a sign of well-being, luck, and the cosmic order of things. Then, in 1920, it was twisted into the most toxic symbol of hate the world has ever seen. This is the story of the swastika. And you might be thinking this is another video about how this ancient symbol is simply misunderstood. It's not. Because while the swastika spread farther than almost any other symbol in history, the claim that it appeared in every human civilization, well, that's a lie. It's incredibly widespread, but it's not documented in ancient Australian Aboriginal cultures or in many traditional African societies. So if it's not a physical carving, what's the one symbol that truly connects all of us? What if it's not something we draw, but something we are? A biological emblem wired directly into the human brain that every single one of us carries? We're going to decode the one symbol that truly does connect all of ancient humanity and what it means for us today. Section 1. The first candidate. The swastika is, without a doubt, one of the most successful symbols in history. Its name comes from the Sanskrit word svastika, which means conducive to well-being. And for millennia, that's what it stood for. It shows up on ancient Greek coins, in Roman mosaics, and among the artifacts of the Celts, the Norse, and even early Christians. In Buddhism, it represents the very footsteps of the Buddha. In Hinduism and Jainism, it remains a sacred sign of good fortune and eternity, a common sight at weddings and on temple doors. Archaeologists have found it across Eurasia and in the Americas, used by tribes like the Navajo and Hopi. The oldest confirmed examples go back at least 7,000 years to the Neolithic period. Some researchers even point to possible much older origins, like geometric markings on a 15,000-year-old mammoth ivory figurine from Mazin, Ukraine, though whether these are truly swastikas is still hotly debated. For ages, this simple shape was a sign of harmony, its bent arms thought to represent the sun's journey or the turning of the cosmos. Then, in the early 20th century, everything changed. German nationalist groups, obsessed with a fantasy of a pure Aryan race, latched onto the symbol. Because it was found in both ancient India and among old Germanic tribes, they twisted it into fraudulent proof of their ancestral supremacy. In 1920, the Nazi Party officially adopted it, and a 7,000-year-old symbol of peace was forever corrupted into an icon of terror. But the Nazi myth was built on a lie. The swastika wasn't exclusively Aryan, and more importantly, it wasn't truly global. So it can't be our universal symbol. The real symbol isn't etched in stone. It's found inside every human skull. Section 2. The symbol inside us. Deep in the geometric center of your brain is a tiny mysterious organ. For centuries, ancient spiritual traditions spoke of a metaphorical third eye, a gateway to inner worlds and higher consciousness. The philosopher Descartes famously called it the principal seat of the soul. And what's fascinating is that right where they imagined it to be sits the pineal gland. It gets its name from its shape. It looks like a tiny pine cone. Now, many have tried to connect this shape to ancient iconography, but those links are pretty speculative. The giant pine cone at the Vatican, for instance, is more likely a Roman symbol of fertility. What isn't speculative is what this gland actually does. For a long time, science dismissed it as not much more than a biological quirk. We now know its main job is to produce melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep. It's your body's internal clock. But the deeper we look, the more we realize how incredibly sophisticated it is. The pineal gland is a light-sensitive organ. It's wired directly to your eyes via a pathway called the retinohypothalamic tract. It doesn't see images, but it senses light and dark. When the sun goes down, it ramps up melatonin production, telling your body it's time to rest. This is why practices like meditating in darkness can have such a profound effect. You're directly influencing a biological process in the very center of your brain. Section 3. The spirit molecule. But here's where the story takes a turn into the truly strange. For decades, one of the most talked about and controversial theories in neuroscience has revolved around the pineal gland. The theory? That it might be a factory for one of the most powerful psychedelic compounds on the planet, N-dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. Often called the spirit molecule, DMT is known to trigger intense, hyper-real visions and a profound feeling of cosmic unity. The building blocks for making DMT, the enzymes, have absolutely been found in human brain tissue. What's more, studies on rats have confirmed their brains can produce it. Researchers even found that DMT levels spike dramatically during cardiac arrest, offering a possible biological explanation for near-death experiences. While the famous hypothesis from Dr. Rick Strassman positioned the pineal gland as the main source, recent science suggests it's more complicated. Studies have shown that a rat's brain can still produce DMT even after the pineal gland is removed. So if it's happening, other parts of the brain, like the visual cortex, are involved too. The big question, whether the human pineal gland produces psychoactive amounts of DMT, is still a very open area of research. But you have to admit, the convergence is fascinating. We have an organ at the core of our brain, metaphorically revered as an inner eye, that is physically sensitive to light and is theorized to produce a chemical capable of generating entire visionary worlds. People who have these visionary experiences, whether through deep meditation or other means, often report seeing the same things: complex, beautiful, unfolding geometric patterns, a kind of universal language. And that leads to the final piece of our puzzle. But before we get there, what do you think? Have you ever had an experience where you felt a deep connection to something universal? Let me know in the comments. Section 4. The language of creation. What if the universe itself is built on a hidden language of shapes? This is the central idea behind sacred geometry. It's a philosophy suggesting a divine blueprint underpins all of creation, from the spiral of a galaxy to the structure of your own DNA. One of the most famous of these patterns is the flower of life. It's a design made of 19 overlapping circles that create a perfect, flower-like pattern. One of the oldest known examples is etched into a stone pillar at the Temple of Osiris in Egypt, dating back thousands of years. From this one pattern, followers of sacred geometry believe you can derive the blueprints for all of existence. Another powerful symbol is the Sri Yantra, a key part of Hindu cosmology. It's made of 9 interlocking triangles, 4-point up, representing masculine energy, and 5-point down, representing feminine energy. Together, they symbolize the union of cosmic forces that creates the universe. Meditating on this symbol is said to align your personal energy with the cosmos itself. Adherents to this philosophy believe that patterns like these, the flower of life, the Sri Yantra, Metatron's cube, are the language of consciousness itself. The theory, from a spiritual perspective, is that when the third eye is activated, it's not just firing off random hallucinations. It's allowing us to perceive the fundamental geometric code of reality. Conclusion: So we started with a symbol carved in stone, the swastika, an ancient emblem that was hijacked and corrupted. We found it wasn't truly universal, which sent us looking for a different kind of symbol. Not one outside of us, but inside. We found a candidate in the pineal gland, the pine cone-shaped third eye at the center of our brain, an organ that ancient traditions revered metaphorically, and which modern science is revealing to be far more complex than we ever imagined. It's our body's clock, a light receptor, and maybe, just maybe, a chemical factory for the spirit molecule itself. And finally, we found the potential language that this inner world speaks: sacred geometry. Universal patterns that appear both in the world around us and, for some, in the visions within us. The one symbol that has appeared in every human civilization isn't a single image. It's a system. It's the combination of a biological organ connected to a universal quest for patterns and meaning. It's the idea that every one of us, regardless of culture or time, carries within our own minds the potential to perceive the very blueprint of the cosmos. The symbol isn't something you see. It's the part of you that does the seeing, and that has been with all of us from the very beginning.